Captain Falcon, the Falcon Punch and move showing man he is. Now we all know him from Super Smash Bros., but where exactly did he come from? Hey, we'll be finding that out on Unknown Origins. Let's begin.
Come on!
To really help understand Captain Falcon's origins, I say we should probably go back to his very first game, F-Zero on the SNES. Back in November of 1990,
Kazunobu Shimizu, Yasunari Nishida, and Takaya Imamura
created F-Zero, a racing game where the goal was to make it to the end and not explode. Yeah, that's right, you can explode. This ain't no Mario Kart here, this is some serious stuff. See, now this is the part where I'm supposed to talk about where Captain Falcon's part of this game, but the problem is he's not. He was never actually created until the game was actually finished with development. The only place he ever appears in F-Zero is just in the back of the game's manual. He was never actually shown in the game, along with any racer. There was no racers in the game. You could see a tiny little head wagging back and forth in the car, but there was no person. There was no character names. There was no nothing. There was never actually even planned to be an official character for F-Zero. It was just going to be a generic racing game with no characters whatsoever. So that begs the question, why is Captain Falcon even involved with this game if he wasn't even in it? It's actually kind of a funny story. So, the SNES, they wanted a mascot for it. Who knows why, they just wanted a mascot. And so, it went around the offices, they wanted a mascot with the name Captain something. They didn't ever filled in something. So then, F-Zero developer Takuya Imamura took it upon himself to try to create the SNES's new mascot. While Imamura was trying to design this new character, he thought it would be a cool idea for each of the main colors of this character to be the same colors as a Super Famicom controller, having red, blue, and yellow be his primary colors. Also later on, Captain Falcon has a green holster, which might be a nod back to the green button of the Famicom, but it's maybe, I do not know if that's true or not. It could just be a coincidence. After dozens of trial and error, Imamura finally came up with a design that looks pretty similar to our Captain Falcon today. He also made a few more characters aside him, which look a lot like Dr. Stewart, Samurai Girl, and Pico. Now with his brand new character design and the F-Zero game about to release, the team was wondering what to do with the F-Zero packaging and wondered if they should release the game with something. Imamura then got the idea to turn the brand new character he created and put it into an F-Zero comic. After finishing the comic, Imamura showed it to Nintendo of America, and they loved it. So much that they all agreed it needed to go somewhere, and they decided putting it in the game's manual. Okay, now that you understand the backstory of Captain Falcon, there's one question that needs to be answered. Why is Captain Falcon so associated with Super Smash Bros? I mean, sure, he's a very popular character in there, but he had his own series. You feel like he would be known for that series than Super Smash Bros. Now, a true question to answer here is, why was Captain Falcon even added to Super Smash Bros? And this question, I don't have a solid answer for. My best theory is that the new F-Zero game was in production, and so was Super Smash Bros, so Sakurai's like, hey, nice character, I don't mind if I take it, thank you. Now, let's talk about the reason Captain Falcon was even popular in this game, his moves. Now, this is a very strange section because Captain Falcon's moves don't have any origin. Since Captain Falcon never talked, never was outside of his car in any of the games, there's nothing to really base his moves off of. All Sakurai had as a basis for this character is just the tiny comic book in the back of the manual of the first game. Besides that, there was no information on Captain Falcon whatsoever at that point. And before anyone says it, the Captain Falcon anime came out in 2004, after Super Smash Bros. 64 and Melee was created, so his moves could not have come from that anime. So, his moves really do not have any kind of origin. You know, his Falcon Punch is just a deadly punch. There's no origin to it. Captain Falcon does do a little bit of punching in the comic book, but no punch that causes fire to come out during the punch. And never in any of the comics, any of the video games, has he ever said,
"Shut Show me your moves.
I wish he had. If he did, I bet they would have sold so many more games and your series would not be on a 10-year hiatus. But, we progress. Now you're probably just saying, oh, well that's only a few moves. At least the rest of the moves are probably accurate. Nope. Almost every single one of his moves are either made up or stolen from Samus. There are roughly 1 or 2 moves that are actually based off of something he does in the comic. The rest of them just came out of thin air. And now I could go on a long tangent of how none of his moves are his, and that it's a complete insult to his character that these are all just made up. But I don't need to, because since Captain Falcon was such an obscure, unknown character at the time already, barely anyone knew where he was from and just accepted him as a Smash character that had fire out of his fist whenever he punched someone and had a beautiful taunt.
Show me a move.
And now, you think that after people realize that Captain Falcon is from F-Zero, since, brand new F-Zero games kept coming out for a couple of years, people would be like, oh, he's from that, and, people would keep learning. The problem is, F-Zero didn't go on for much longer. The games lasted for a couple more years, but by the time Brawl came out, F-Zero was already starting its hiatus that's still going on to this day. Heck, we have not seen a new F-Zero game since about 2003. So the series has been on a hiatus for almost 14 years now. So there has not been a new F-Zero game in so long that any kids nowadays won't know what F-Zero is because they were never exposed to it. And sure, there was always the virtual console, so if someone wanted to see an F-Zero game, it was always on there, but let's be honest, there were so many games on the virtual console that no one's going to pick up the obscure racing game. Everyone's going to want to pick up the Mario game or the Zelda game. Why would they waste their money on some game they never heard of? So, Captain Falcon's unknown origin kinda makes sense in a way. He was never shown in the very first game of his series, and when he was shown, it was already too late because Smash Bros. Swooped him up and took him away for their own purposes. And while F-Zero got worse and worse sales each and every game, Smash Bros. Was doing fantastic and got bigger and bigger by each game. And it got to a point where more people knew about Smash Bros. Than F-Zero itself. And F-Zero fell out of obscurity, but Smash kept going and got bigger and bigger, bringing more and more people in to meet this new Captain Falcon character they never heard of. And that, my friends, is Captain Falcon's unknown origin. Thank you guys for watching. That is all. Goodbye.